And now,
Hire Away with Collins Harlan.
Welcome to Hire Away. Hire Away is a show where we talk about jobs, we talk about business, and we talk with the people that are operating those businesses and doing those jobs. So these are people with skin in the game. My name's Collins. I'm with Labor Finders, and I'm a staffing specialist. In St. Louis, we have two branches to serve you. We have one in North County, one in South County, and of course we have branches all over the country. So if you're looking to hire people, you need help, go to laborfinders.com. That's laborfinders.com. Find the branch nearest you, give them a call, they'll help you out. So today we're going to do something a little different. We're first going to talk a little bit about the H-2B visa program because we've been getting calls from contractors on that. But then we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about AI and robotics. So that's going to be fun. And so what's really happening is the H-2B visa program, there's some issues this year with it. The cap's been cut. It's a lottery system, and we're getting calls from contractors. They're worried about not getting their workers on time. So I want to play a clip here of someone that can help set the stage and tell us a little bit more about this from a professional perspective. So if you're one of these companies that's worried about getting your workers on time, tune in. This is going to be very enlightening. Let's go ahead and play the clip from Keith Pabian, founder of Pabian Law.
Hi everyone, this is Keith Pabian from Pabian Law. Today I want to talk about what the H-2B visa lottery results mean for all of the organizations that have April 1st start date petitions. So on Sunday, January 4th, the U.S. Department of Labor released the lottery results for this year for any organization that filed on January 1st, 2nd, or 3rd and have H-2B visa petition start dates for April 1st, 2026. Remember, the lottery only applies to organizations that have April 1st start dates. Anyone that has a post-April 1st start date doesn't go through the lottery.
So what he's talking about, these are going to be landscaping companies. These are going to be pool construction companies, irrigation companies. And you got to remember, this is a lottery system. So there's one of the problems with the program this year is there's an increase in demand for these visa workers. The demand is up 9% over last year. And what that does is it creates a problem in processing the application that takes more and more time, the more and more applications we have, and that number's up. So all the while, the window is shrinking, and you get put into a lottery system, A, B, C, or D. And Keith is going to explain that a little bit better right here. Let's continue with the clip.
So let me go into this a little bit further. When the lottery results are issued, remember, Group A is the best, and whatever they get down to is the worst. And what I mean by that is, under the H-2B visa regulations, there are 33,000 spots allocated for Group A, and then every group after that, B, C, D, and so on, are allocated 20,000 spots until they run out. This year, for the first time ever, the U.S. Department of Labor got all the way down to Group H. Previously, they had never gotten past Group G. Now, here's how this works in practice, okay? So remember, there are two implications: out-of-country workers and processing times. So for those of you that want to recruit out-of-country workers, what we have historically found, and this year I don't expect to be any different, is all of our April 1st clients that get Group A, again, which is the best group, are able to recruit out-of-country workers if they want. Then about 70% of our April 1st employers are able to get out-of-country workers that get Group B. So basically, Group A is generally fine. About 70% of Group B is able to recruit out-of-country workers. The cap has always been hit during the Group B processing times, or during that period of time. Because what happens is the U.S. Department of Labor goes in order when they process petitions in order of the lottery results. So they do all the Group A's, then Group B's, C's, and so on. And so if you have a Group C, D, E, F, G, or H lottery assignment, I am all but certain that your petitions are going to miss the out-of-country cap if you want those out-of-country workers. Remember, for any of you, regardless of where you end up in the lottery, if you recruit in-country workers, they don't count against that numerical cap, and you can recruit them regardless of your lottery result or if you have a post-April 1st start date. That's especially important this year, everybody, because the government has they announced very recently that they are adding more visas through the supplemental cap, through cap relief, but it's about half of what it's been in prior years, and it's never been enough. So this year, if you do not have good lottery results, meaning Group A or B, and even in Group B there's uncertainty, you need to be looking at in-country workers.
Okay, so you heard him say it. If you're in Group A, you're golden, no problem. If you're in Group B, you need to have a contingency plan. And any group below that, you're not going to get your workers on time. You're just not. So you need to have a contingency plan. And in my mind, you have two choices. You can either do everything yourself, recruit, vet, do all the payroll, put them on your workers' comp policies, all this stuff, deal with the turnover, all of that stuff, which, that's going to show up on your bottom line in opportunity costs, because while you're doing all that, you could be bidding jobs, getting ready for the season, all the stuff you would normally be able to do. Or you can contact labor finders, partner with labor finders. And I really wish you would. Give us a chance to show you. All you have to do is call us up. Give us a chance to show you how partnering with labor finders wouldn't be a cost. It would be an investment. When you partner with us, we take all that off your plate. We handle everything, and you get to put them on our workers' comp policy. So that's always a plus. But if you call me up, just give me the chance to show you how partnering with labor finders would not be a cost for you. It would be an investment and a solution for the problem you're having. All right. So that's good information. And now we're going to pivot, and we're going to talk about robotics. And, we recently had the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. And Elon Musk was there, among other people. I think Trump was a bigger story, but Elon Musk was there. And in this next clip that we're going to play you, he's talking about humanoid robots. Obviously, the Tesla bot, that's his thing. He's not the only one, of course. We have Boston Dynamics and other companies that are investing in humanoid robots. But he's focusing on humanoid robots, what they can provide for mankind long term. And I think you're going to find this very interesting. I want you to listen until we break and see if you have the same reaction that I did. Go ahead and play the clip.
But if you have ubiquitous AI that is essentially free or close to it, and ubiquitous robotics, then you will have an explosion in the global economy, an expansion in the global economy that is truly beyond all precedent.
Elon, can that expansion be broad?
Yes.
Or is it narrow? And how can that be created? How can it broaden the global economy?
Yeah, the way to think of it is that if you have a large number of humanoid robots, the economic output is the average productivity per robot times the number of robots.
Right.
And actually, my prediction is in the benign scenario of the future that the robots will actually make so many robots in AI that they will actually saturate all human needs. Meaning you won't be able to even think of something to ask the robot for at a certain point. Like there will be such an abundance of goods and services because my prediction is that there'll be more robots than people. So,
but how do you then have human purpose in that scenario?
Yeah, nothing's perfect, But,
Hold on, wait, stop the clip. Did anyone else have the same reaction I did when the interviewer asked him, well, how do you have human purpose? And he basically couldn't answer the question. He basically said, well, nothing's perfect. All right, let's show that again just to kind of catch that.
But how do you then have human purpose in that scenario?
Yeah, nothing's perfect, But it is a necessary Like, you can't have both. You can't have work that has to be done and amazing abundance for all. Because if it's work that has to be done, then you and only some people can do it, then you can't have abundance.
Then
for
it's
all.
narrow.
Yeah, it's narrow. Yeah. Exactly. So, but if you have billions of humanoid robots, and I think there will be, I think everyone on Earth is going to have one and going to want one, because who wouldn't want a robot to, assuming it's very safe, watch over your kids, take care of your pet. If you have elderly parents, a lot of friends of mine have said they have elderly parents, and it's very difficult to take care of them.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, and there just aren't enough people to take care of there aren't enough young people to take care of the old people.
Right.
So if you had a robot that could take care of and protect an elderly parent, I think that would be great. That would be an amazing thing to have.
Yes, robots taking care of our children. What could possibly go wrong with that? That sounds great. And our elders, sure. And I think what bothers me, and let me back up. I'm a huge Elon Musk fan. Huge. I really like Elon. He's an amazing individual, obviously. But he said a few things in this snippet. He says that there'll be so many robots that it'll saturate human needs, and that you won't even be able to think of a question that you need to ask the robots. They'll anticipate your needs. He talks about a future where there's an amazing abundance for all. But to me, the picture he's painting sounds a lot like he's going to be turning us into, not him, but having that scenario kind of, where do we find meaning? Like the interviewer said, where do we find purpose? Are we all just going to be sitting there eating Twinkies and taking naps? Because, humans are wired to need purpose, to find meaning in life. And humans need to have hope. And the best way to foster and maintain hope is to find meaning in one's life. That seems incompatible with what he's talking about. But back to the whole humanoid robot thing anyway. It's come to my attention that there's a whole offshoot of roboticists that feel like the humanoid robot form, that's not the right way to approach production and plants and different things that need to be done, that the humanoid robot form isn't actually that efficient. And certainly when you see videos of these robots, they do seem rather clumsy. And, sometimes wheels are better than legs. Treads are better than legs. So, I'm not so sold on the whole humanoid robot thing anyway. And with that said, we're going to play a video now, see what you think of it. Somebody that's talking about that very thing. Not humanoid robots, but utilitarian robots for certain tasks, and leaning hard into that, soft robotics. And we're going to play something here by Professor Larry Howell from Brigham Young University. Let's play this clip and see what you think.
Soft robots, in particular, are an entire field of study. So why are so many researchers trying to build the robots of the future with soft materials? For one, trading out fragmented metal frames for single, flexible bodies might be how we make robots more reliable and precise. These bendy gearboards are so predictable that they were commissioned by the US government to secure nuclear weapons, ensuring that no random motions could accidentally set them off. But predictability is just one of 8 reasons that machines that bend are better.
What do this satellite thruster, plastic tool, and micromechanical switch have in common? Well, they all contain components that bend, so-called compliant mechanisms.
So it's always been considered to be bad to have flexibility in your machines. Well, we've tried to take that thing that everybody hates and is trying to avoid and say, how can we use flexibility to our advantage? How can we use that to do cool stuff?
Now, Professor Howell literally wrote the book on compliant mechanisms.
That's the most cited book.
But he's pretty nonchalant about his work. Just watch how he introduces this mechanism he developed to prevent nuclear weapons from going off accidentally.
Actually, a safing and arming of nuclear weapons. And so if you want to
Hang on. What are nuclear weapons?
Safing and arming.
Safing and arming.
Yeah, so if there's anything in the world that you want to be safe that is not going to accidentally go off.
I feel like it doesn't even need saying, but yes, nuclear weapons, obviously you don't want them to go off.
Okay, so you saw Professor Howell's advice there that's in charge of safing and arming nuclear devices to prevent them from going off. Question for you, when you're thinking of the difference between that type of robotics and humanoid robotics, would you rather have Professor Howell's device there that's been working, continues to work, and will continue to work in our nuclear arsenal, or would you rather have this guy do it? I think I know what your answer is going to be. Personally, I don't want the dishwasher robot anywhere near our nuclear arsenal. So, all right. So when you think about these two clips, the Elon Musk interview in Davos, talking about humanoid robots, and then this soft robotics, talking about utilitarian robots, I'm starting to feel a divide here. And here's what I mean by that. With Elon Musk's approach to robotics, and not just Elon's, but the humanoid robot approach, we're creating a robot that is designed to do a myriad of tasks, but not necessarily any particular one of them amazingly well. It may get there, but a humanoid robot is built in our image. It's built to, I'm sorry, but replace us in many ways. How can you argue otherwise? If you're going to take a humanoid robot, stick him in a factory, you've made him humanoid to replace the actual human. On the other hand, utilitarian robots are designed specifically to do one task really well, in fact, unfailingly well. And for those robots to work, they have to be in harmony with humans. Humans have to utilize those robots physically to make them work, for them to be effective. So do you see the divide there? It seems to me that by embracing humanoid robots, Elon Musk talks about an amazing abundance for all and saturating the human need. What really is going to happen is exactly that's going to happen. There might be an amazing abundance for all, and it may saturate the human need, but at what cost? Is it going to be at the cost of the question that he couldn't answer, which is, will we be able to maintain some form of human purpose and meaning at that level? I don't know. But I do know that if we would focus on utilitarian robots that didn't replace human beings, that relied on human beings, the human and the robot would exist together in harmony by definition. And then there would be no problem, would there, as far as worrying about human need and purpose and meaning in life, because the human would be very much involved in the existence and functionality of that robot. Maybe I'm going too far down the philosophical path. I don't know. But it was just fun, wasn't it? I mean, we got to talk about H-2B visas, and then we switched bizarrely to robotics. And Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. There's got to be some engineers and roboticists out there that are pulling their hair out and want to, scream at me right now. So do that through the comments. Help me learn. And it's been a great show. So we'll see you next week.
Hire Away with Collins Harlan.